And we are live. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of Respect the Craft. This is episode number 75, and I'm joined by the lovely BMF goddess herself. How's it going?
Going
What's
on,
up?
yo? Nice
What's
to
up?
be here. How you
No,
doing?
thank you. Thank you for joining me. I'm doing great. It's going to be a good one here. We're starting out Project Week. It's going to be fun. We got a lot to talk about as we are going to on the road here to Summer Clash this Saturday. Lots to talk about that. I know there's a particular match we're definitely going to be touching on in a little bit. But before we get into that, I have to ask you the question I ask everyone that comes on. You heard the name of the podcast. You heard it's called Respect the Craft. But when you hear that term, the craft, what does that mean for you?
Uh, Something you're extremely passionate about, something you're skilled at. Um, yeah, definitely along those lines.
Hey, there you go. Short and sweet is the best. And again, that's all this is about. It's that craft, it's that love we have for professional wrestling. And it's been a crazy weekend of professional wrestling. We just had two of the
Yeah,
biggest events happen right now. The world is still going nuts about what just happened last night.
yeah,
So we had a
that
lot
definitely
to.
was the whole SummerSlam weekend.
Yeah, it was a lot. But that's
It
what
was.
that's what we love. We have to enjoy professional wrestling at its highest.
I
So
enjoyed it, and I
let's
have to say, I definitely love the name "Respect the Craft." I give it
thank
to you on because that's what a lot of people need to do. And that's just dope. It's fire, and I respect what you do too, a
oh,
lot.
thank you. Likewise, same. That's another reason why I wanted to have you on because you also host your own podcast. You get a lot of great
Yeah,
discussions on there. Sometimes it's interviews. Sometimes it's just a topic that's even relevant not only just to wrestling but even the
I done
world itself.
a lot of everything, and I do a lot of wrestling as well. But I definitely do a lot of other topics.
Oh, definitely.
Wrestling, me especially, like I get my fans ask me to do reviews, but I don't be wanting to hear what they have to say half the time, you know what I'm saying? So I don't. That's why I give it to you because you deal with all of that shit that I don't want to deal with.
See, that's why I moved on with
I
like
can choose who I want, to
yeah,
work with.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's why like I moved on from doing because I used to do the same. I used to do the prediction shows, reviews, and a lot of times I'm like, eh. So I like with this, it's cooler because it's like, okay, this is the format that's like, again, showing respect to what we love. And again, it helps because being a part of the business as well.
Right.
But I wanted to ask you, what was it that got you into wanting to create content like that? Because let's be realistic, the market is like everywhere there's a podcast now. So what
Right.
got you in that you were like, you know what? I want to give my perspective on this.
Right. Mine's was definitely because I feel like definitely I'm sorry, I sound stupid. I said that twice. Um I wanted to get the voices of these independent wrestlers and promotions out there because let's be honest, indie wrestling is nowhere near as respected as mainstream wrestling is. And I really feel like that needs to change. It definitely starts within, you know, promotions and wrestlers, but I want to bring that out to the public, the people that don't even know about independent wrestling or don't follow it. I want to be part of that change.
Oh, got you. And again, you've had some great independent talent on there. Hey, I just saw you uploaded today the your interview, your catch up almost because it was a year ago that you had him on first time with Nikolai White, the Renaissance himself.
It's dope.
So again, that's showcasing that great indie talent.
I'm a grown man, but when I say kid, I just, he's the generation after mine. So I see him evolve
Yeah.
since, especially, Cage, because he's seen it since he was a little kid. So, uh, yeah, that was cool. Definitely
Def-
check that.
Definitely, definitely. So I got to ask with that, with the interviews that you do and the opportunities you've gotten with it, um, for you seeing that growth, because you've been around wrestling for a while, what has been the biggest change you've seen with that?
Wrestling as a whole, or
Just
someone?
even like indie wise as well, like that change you've seen.
I'm definitely more of a fan of very, old school wrestling.
Yeah,
I'm talking before the adults. Of course, everybody loves the Attitude Era, but I mean, before that, when wrestling was structured a little bit differently than it is today, I am okay with most of today's wrestling. There's certain things I don't like. Not everybody's gonna like. Not saying I can't accept, because a lot of people are like, us old school heads can't accept the new style, whatever. To each their own. All I'm asking for is the respect to respect that craft. And, I'm not a fan of kayfabe killers. That's it. That's really my biggest pet peeve with how it's how the evolution has come.
yeah.
Is kayfabe offenders. I don't like that. Other than that, I enjoy wrestling as a whole. There's so many different promotions now to enjoy. It's not just WWE. A lot of people think WWE, that's it. No, there's so much good wrestling out there, namely promotions like New Japan. It's one of my favorites. Okada. Um, yeah, that's definitely how I feel about pro wrestling. Is my favorite sport. Although some people will call it entertainment, I am definitely more a fan of wrestling as a sport,
Yeah.
the way it needs to be.
No, definitely. And again, that's something. Before I keep on, here a comment here from a good brother, Vince Steele. Shout out to my homegirl. Keep doing your thing. There you go.
I actually interviewed him as well in 2020.
There you go.
Awesome guy.
No,
Great
Vince,
wrestler.
man, definitely. But no, that's something I say wrestling truly is. It's the best of everything because it's entertaining. It is a combat sport though, because again, the stuff that's done in that ring, it can't be replicated by anyone. Like
Right.
the things you see, again, it truly is a commitment. It is a lot, and again, you have to have that respect for the craft. No pun intended.
It's a craft because not everybody could do that
No, no, it really is.
to be a wrestler.
So I gotta ask you now. I have to ask the question. It's a little just the cliche, but what was it that got you hooked on the craft? What was it that caught your eye that you were like, you know what, I have to keep watching this?
On pro wrestling,
Pro wrestling in general, yeah.
um, well, I started watching it when I was 3 years old. My cousins were big fans. They were boys. And they would put it on. They would start wrestling on the couch and shit, and I would just look at them and see how much fun it was, and I started paying attention to the show, and I haven't stopped watching it since. My idol is Stone Cold Steve Austin, although I love many other goats like Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair. Hulk Hogan was the first wrestler that made an impression on me. He was my favorite as a kid. I used to watch his movies, corny movies. Uh, um, but it's in me, and it's a love that I have so much that when I was 18 years old, I actually started wrestling school. I never, continued with it, but I was that much of a mark for wrestling. All right, in reality, those of us who love wrestling, we all are. Period. But yeah, love it.
No, definitely, and that's always that thing that's I. This is what I'm gonna bring up because it's funny. You stopped yourself when you said Mark. I like when people they use the word, and again, it's something that if you aren't really a mark for wrestling, especially if you're in wrestling and you don't have that real love for it, why are you in wrestling? Because I feel like that's the word we've changed it now that it's like, oh, you're a mark if you're this. It's like, no. To me, if you're not really a mark for the business, why are you in it? Like you
Yeah.
have to have that deep passion for this business, especially like again, this whole weekend, getting to see people enjoy professional wrestling, be fans of what was done this whole weekend, not just WWE, but seeing the stuff from New Japan, seeing the stuff last night with Ric Flair's last match, that whole card. Like seeing people truly enjoy professional wrestling a weekend. It's like that's what you want. You want everyone to be able to talk about this, talk about the craft, talk about the sport we love, and have that actual respect for it and have that love for it. Like that's just how I see it. Like be that mark for it. Enjoy wrestling. Enjoy what you want to see, and support indies as well because that's where this all starts.
Yes.
Indie man.
Most of your biggest favorites, everybody. That's where they started.
So let's start getting into
different flavor to indie wrestling that you don't get when you go, to the big mainstream televised shows.
Oh, definitely. It's one of those things that's not replicated anywhere. Like you get to see people you haven't seen in a while, you get to all catch up. It's that family affair. That's what I love about indie wrestling as well. Like this weekend when we all get to finally catch up, talk to each other a bit, and have a great time. So,
but there's a lot of people too that I kind of feel like they just want to be a part of something. Those people who go into wrestling like, oh, I just want to be cool with everybody else. I like this, but it's not really your passion. Please quit now.
Oh, definitely. I feel like that's one of those things where you could see it. Like it's like if you really don't have it, then again, there's many people that actually have that passion and love for it.
Yeah.
Step aside.
No,
Step aside and let those.
The ring is meant for those who really are in it to win it.
There you go. So let's start getting into this. Let's talk about this Saturday here because again, we have a stacked event. It is Project Codename Summer Clash. I can't wait to talk about this here. It is we're going on a craziness that it's now finally the 4th event for Project Codename Wrestling. How do you feel going into it? Well, how's the hype level that we are legit 5 days away?
I mean, it's pretty hype because they didn't let me down the last 2 shows, and I felt like excuse me, the last few shows, and I feel like each show just gets better and better. So I'm really hyped for this, and we got a card of really strong matches that I can't wait to see what happens. So definitely excited.
Same. I can't wait. But now, I guess it's better time than the present. Let's get into a match that I know you have a lot to say about this matchup. I've been waiting because I want to hear your side of all this because I've gotten to hear the GOAT side of this. I've gotten to hear the Blood Brothers side of this. I've gotten to hear everybody. But let's hear it now from the Goddess. Let's hear your take on the brother versus brother feud here as we get round 2 on Saturday, as it's going to be Joe Bullrog teaming up with the Superstar Whiplash, taking on Absolute Chris Cage and a mystery partner of Cage's choosing. We have yet to hear who that partner will be. I don't know if we're going to get to hear till Saturday. So we're going to see, but I want to hear your take on everything that's been going on with Cage and Whiplash. And I think I know where you stand because I saw the flag being waved at the last event, but I want to hear what your take is on everything going on.
So first of all, and I really hope, Joe, that you're watching or that you're gonna fucking watch, because I'm gonna keep it real with you right now. You're like a little chihuahua. You want to dare challenge the Absolute Chris Cage, first of all. But I peeped game. You really needed to back up your shit by bringing a pit bull like the Superstar Whiplash to help you in this battle while instigating an ongoing feud between the brothers. Whiplash and Cage, collectively known as the Zoltan. This mystery partner that Cage will team up with. Like, I mean, it doesn't matter who they are. Cage is going to cancel Joe, and that's just what it is. As far as him and Whiplash, I know at the end of the day, I feel like they're gonna be okay, and I really hope this is the end of it, because in reality, none of us, including the Go family, really want them to continue to have these issues.
There you go. And no, again, like when I had Joe Burrow on the podcast, I didn't think that's where this was going. I didn't think it was just going to continue to escalate the situation. It was just going to be a peaceful podcast. Chris Cage, again, big fan of Chris Cage. I showed my support. I tried to stay as neutral as possible, but unfortunately, I had to pick my side because I felt like, unfortunately, Cage was getting a little too disrespected, if you will. But when I told Chris Cage, yeah, come on, you guys could talk, you guys are brothers. I never thought we were going to lead to another match here. Like, this is insane to see that, again, it's round 2, and this is a match that, again, has so much history behind it. Because those 3 alone have so much behind them.
You know how it goes. Everybody always wants a piece of the man of the hour because they're gonna get some clout off of it. I would go after Cage too, but if we go back into history, you got your ass whooped by Cage before, bro.
I've been told to show a picture, so we're gonna show it here. Look at that.
What happened?
Damn.
You going for round 2. You better bring it. That's what I'm saying.
Joe, again, this is not my choice to play the picture. I just pushed the buttons.
Yeah, it was all me. Nobody afraid of you.
But again, I can't wait to see what happens. I can't wait to see when this matchup happens on Saturday, and all the matches. Because again, it is a stacked card.
Yeah.
But I can't wait to see what goes down. Again, who Chris chooses. Again, it's insane because you never know the Rolodex of the history, who we could see come out of that curtain on Saturday. Again, even if it's a member of the project roster, you never know. You never know who it could possibly be that will make this tag team match even crazier. But let's keep it going here as well, because again, we have more to talk about as well. Because I wanted to talk not only just the wrestling side of things that you do, but you're also, again, I talked about it in the promotion for this, an entrepreneur here. You have some great creations that you do. Talk to us. What got you into doing that?
Well, I'm an independent artist. I've been into art since I was a kid. I used to do like just freelance jobs for people. And then Corona hit. And that pretty much, for anybody who wanted something to do with themselves, it brought out more of the creativity in all of us. And it was no better a time with all the struggle and shit we were all going through and having to be in quarantine to get to work. And Chris Cage was actually definitely a hand in my inspiration to do that. So when I opened up Goddess Made, I pretty much paint on anything, everything from game systems to sneakers. Those are my favorite things to do because I'm a gamer and I just love to paint sneakers. But I pretty much do everything. I have an online store where I like to do custom apparel. But anything creative, love it. Art is definitely a way of expressing yourself and a therapy of its own.
No, definitely. You have some great creations that you've done. The art is amazing. So that's awesome. I definitely have to eventually. I gotta send you a control to get something made on there. Those controls be coming out fire. But what was it that got you inspired to do that? Like, where did that inspiration to create that art come from?
My grandfather, he was an artist, like way better than me. He used to do portraits and all that. Like, he actually started teaching me, and he was already sick by that time. He died of HIV, and when he passed is when I put my paintbrushes down for a while. So it was actually a long time since I was really painting on a consistent basis. I was really young when I stopped, and I'm always learning and wanting to do better and do new things. So it's also a world with endless possibilities.
No, definitely so. And I feel like that's the best thing about art as well is that there's not one certain style to it. So there's always adaptation. There's always different
Exactly.
inspirations that can come from it. And again, the things you've done, like I've seen some of the designs that it's like, yo, that's crazy. I never thought about something like that. Like it is just it keeps coming out great. So definitely keep doing it.
That means a lot to me. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Oh, definitely. You know what it is too. I always love art like that because art. I feel like even like with wrestling, I always call it an art form because again, it's also it's one's interpretation of it. You know, and again, it's the best expression because again, you get to put out your vision and what you see, and when other people can see it and just see how great and how different and how innovative it can be, that's always cool to see.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
that's awesome.
And I'm a person that very much likes to support the fellow entrepreneur or whatever it is that you're doing and you're passionate about. I respect that. And I know what it takes to be an entrepreneur or to have passion for something and want to make it so badly. I'm all about supporting others. So you can always hit me up. I'll share your shit. But whatever the hell you need help with, I'm always down to work with somebody else. So
There you go. See, that's a great mentality of again when it's community like this that again everyone gets to. We all want to see each other win. That's why I definitely
we
wanted to have you on the podcast.
that's the thing that people don't think about or understand is that you're not in a competition with no one but you. Everybody could win. There's room for everybody.
No, no, definitely is. That's why I love again. That's why I said I definitely wanted to have you come on. We still got a plan to get me on your podcast too because we
Well,
have to
yeah,
keep collabing.
we're
We
gonna
got
do
to
that.
keep collabing, but
Well,
definitely. So
we're
I
gonna
gotta
make it.
ask. Definitely. I got to ask you now. With that being said, with professional wrestling, seeing how it's evolved and how it continues to grow, um, are you still also getting to be around it more now? Are you still a fan of the current product? Let's say, like what you see now, like let's say mainstream wise, does that still entice you as much as the indie vibe?
Um, well, of course. I mean, I was born and bred into WWE. That's always gonna be as much as they piss me off, and I mean that's changing now that Vince is gone. He was really the one who called most of the shots, but they're always gonna be that pinnacle there, on the pedestal. But uh, I really lost my train of thought. Give me the question.
You know what it was? Just that memory
Give
of
me
like,
the question.
you know what it was? Just like it's like, Vince was ruining it for so long. Damn.
It happens. Brain
no,
fog.
no, it's all good. But I think that's been the common answer. Like, because especially for me, like at one point, just because how surrounded I am with the indie scene, that I was like, okay, I'm starting to like this a little more. But I started to realize, hey, end of the day as well, WWE was what a lot of us, or
Oh,
WWF is what got us into it. So
so honestly, love the indies. It could be, and if I'm being honest, there are indie shows that are totally they're out there. They're out there. So I try to steer clear from those, but they happen, and still I can enjoy myself and have a fun experience. I really enjoy seeing the evolution of these wrestlers from when they started this day, and I watched them for all these years in person, as an indie fan, mainstream, you don't really get to go to mainstream shows as regularly as you can for indie shows in your community. And if you don't have indie shows in your community, you should really move. Uh, um, it's an experience that is kind of hard to explain, but the feeling that you get, I expect when I walk in an indie show and I paid my ticket and I'm sitting there, I expect to be fully immersed in your story, just as much as any other promotion.
Oh, definitely. And I feel like that's that experience that it's so hard to truly describe unless you go to an indie show. You never really it won't encapsulate it unless you're there and you finally get to live what it is to be at an indie show. Because again, it's so different. Then again, I have no problem going to a mainstream show and enjoying, again, great product as well. But when you go to that indie show and you're there and you get to be a part of getting to see, again, a community that a lot of people that you already possibly know. A lot of times that's what I love about indie shows. Now getting to work them as well, doing the great commentary yourself for project and doing all that. You get to see people are like, hey, how's it been? And all of that. And it's a whole different feel. And then again, it's great action, great storytelling that just for that time that you're there, you get to just almost forget about just real life for a second. Forget about the problems, forget about all that, and you get to enjoy a good product for the 2 to 3 hours that a show can be at times.
Exactly.
So that's always what I love about it.
And a lot of you get to see things, you won't get to see a mainstream show either.
No, like definitely not. And that's what I love about indie wrestling as well, because it gives you a little bit of that extra that you would want, though. It's like, okay, you can't see this because, okay, there's the restrictions, or again, everyone's looking for a little more of the safer side. With indies is, again, it's that great, just sometimes those high speed, or even again, the strong style that a lot of us love in that ring. A lot of stuff you're going to see in this match on Saturday. A lot of flying, a lot of craziness that you possibly won't see on your Monday and Tuesday night.
I can't wait.
It's a lot of stuff that, again, you got to go to your indies, support local indie wrestling. And again, I feel like, especially if you're in the States, there's probably an indie around you. We're in the tri-states. There's definitely so many shows to choose from, but definitely go to those that, again, like Project Code Wrestling, they're putting on stacked events.
I gotta see this.
Definitely. But before we start wrapping up here, I have to ask you now, again, like I said, you do the podcast, you do all your content creating, you do your entrepreneur activities with the art. I got to ask, how are you able to fit all that with, again, real life as well? How are you able to fit all that in a day? Because even with just the podcast and doing the stuff for promotions that I work for, I'm at times that I'm like, okay, I got to split this. There's not that many hours in a day. I can imagine, because it goes through every content creator's head, there's still more things you want to do that we won't talk about what those are, because those stay secret till it comes out. But it's like, how are you able to split that time and hit all the projects that you want to do?
First of all, and you probably relate to a lot of the shit I'm about to say. First of all, we work 7 days a week. There's no such thing as a day off. All right, I got my regular 9 to 5 job. When I clock out of that motherfucker, I come home and I clock back into Goddess Made. And then I got my YouTube work. And if I'm pretty sure you do all your own work as well, Ray, I do all my own editing, my YouTube thumbnails and all that. And they take time and patience. But, I wouldn't have it any other way. You get used to it. It's almost like when I do have 5 minutes to relax, I'm like, I'm doing something wrong. I gotta be working. You get used to it. But yeah, no time. Uh, that's just the life of an entrepreneur. And then, when you're passionate about something and you're not supposed to have no days off. If you ain't made it yet, keep going. That's it.
No, definitely. You know what's funny? That's always my thing when I ask someone to come on that is a fellow content creator, especially when you're doing all the things you're doing. I'm like, damn, I'm taking away from their time that they're probably fine again to sit down for a second. So
No,
that's why I was like, hey,
like
does
a
this
play.
time work? Does this time work? Like, because I know how the our mindset works. It's like, nah, you got to be doing something. Because that's like me. Like even last night when I was watching the Flair match, I have my computer open, working on graphics, working on something. Like it never
Yeah,
stops.
right.
Like it never stops. But again, we
I
wouldn't change it because this is what we love.
when I first started, like the Goddess Meet and stuff, and I had to. Advertising is a big thing. Honestly, if I were an entrepreneur or a YouTuber, I probably wouldn't have social media. I fucking hate it. The amount of
Same.
work that goes into just advertising your shit is hours long. Let me tell you. And I would be on my phone for fucking hours, which I hate. I absolutely hate it. But it's what you gotta do. It's the name of the game today. And my significant other would get like, still on your phone. He had to get used to it too.
Well, let's be real. He's also another one that
But
he's
it
on
is
his phone a lot of the time too.
trust me, I hate the fact that we gotta be on our phone so much. And if we miss some type of news, we want to get it first, especially when it's wrestling. Like there have been a lot of times where my part of my BMF army is what I call my fans and supporters would hit me up and be like, "Hey, did you hear this?" And I was like, "Fuck no!" And it came out like an hour ago, and they're like, "What you gotta say about this?" And I'll get all these messages, and I'm like, "Fuck!" Now I gotta make a statement about what's going on, and it happens like that. No matter where
Oh yeah.
you are, working, I
Sometimes
have to go
that's
to the bathroom and make a video like this is going on, and I have to say something about it.
see, that's why I love that I don't. I with those I used to do that. I used to love like instantly hit Twitter, say what I like. Now I'm like, I'm good. I can't
Yeah,
because like
I'm just
to
trying
stay
to
up to
avoid
date
it.
with everything. I'm like, no, I can't. Like I can tell you, oh yeah, this match just got announced, but that's because I probably posted the announcement like 2 minutes ago. Like I can't do the, especially with everything that comes out now. Like when the Vince McMahon thing broke, I legit got it sent to me because I didn't even get to see it first. Because that's how crazy it was, and I'm always like, what's going on over here? I can't. I you know what it is with me too. I feel like it's the same like you said. Unless I didn't have this or I wasn't doing the wrestling side of things, I
Yeah,
probably wouldn't be on social media.
yeah. It's
At
first of
times
all,
I'm like,
so much is no. It's terrible. Like I have a timer on my phone that it'll dim my phone after a certain time, so it'll fuck with my eyes. Like I even have a timer that tells me, listen, you've been on social media this long, and it reminds me like just whatever it is, it gotta wait.
oh man, I hate, especially with iPhones, that it gives you every week how long you've been on your phone. And every week that number just goes up. I'm like,
Yeah,
damn.
and it's a must. It's a must.
It really is again like most of like
You have
when
to
I'm
have it
on
still
here, it's
present.
making graphics, it's doing this, it's promoting, it's sharing. But that's what you're supposed to do. You got to get yourself out there. You got to promote because there's no one that's going to promote you better than you.
Right.
That's always how it is.
You hear
But
that, wrestlers? Let's see those promos, man.
oh man, how true that is. But
I love
uh,
Ray.
oh man,
We're
but
gonna get
I don't.
back to my show.
But I don't want to take up too much more of your time. Again, Time is money. Time is busy. I got to ask you the final question I ask everyone that comes on, and that is for the BMF goddess herself. What is the end goal?
I'm sorry?
What is your end goal?
My what?
End goal. Like when all this comes to an end, what is it that you're looking to reach?
In my career?
In your career for as in content creating and as an entrepreneur, what is it that you look to reach by the end of all this?
I want to at least my main focus now is to at least open the ears and the minds of even one person. That's a job well done for me. But after, everything's said and done and whatever, I just hopefully I always hashtag BMF movement because I want to be able to ultimately be remembered for being the person that helped people who didn't have a voice speak or to be heard or, to attack certain, things happening in the world that other people don't want to touch. And I guess, for the little people that nobody listens to or cares to listen about.
Got you. Hey, again, that's great. And I feel like that's a lot of the time what we want to do is again make that difference, make that impact on someone. And again, be a reason why they want to continue to speak out as well and say what they have on their mindset. But thank you again for coming on, guys. If you're please watching, definitely go follow the BMF goddess.
To this podcast, bro.
Thank you. Definitely all the links down below as well. But definitely go follow her on Instagram right there, BMF_goddess. Go follow her on Twitter at BMF goddess. And again, check out the amazing content she's putting out. Go check out her great art as well. Go buy something. Like I said, I'm going to definitely have to send out. I might have to bring my controller on Saturday when I see you just to talk about a design because we got to get something done. But thank you again for coming on. Can't wait to see you Saturday. Again, guys, come check it out. This is the start of Project Week here as we're on the road to Saturday, Summer Clash, a stacked card, including this great matchup here as it will be brother versus brother round 2. Whiplash and Joe Bullrog taking on Chris Cage and a partner of his choosing. Be there, get your tickets. And as always, guys, don't forget to be wise, be genuine, be real, be better people, and respect the craft. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.